TVSS, or transient voltage surge suppressor, needs to be installed correctly to ensure proper function and maintain its warranty. The provided service has 6 breakers: a 600 amp breaker, a 400 amp breaker, and 4 200 amp breakers. The one-line diagram shows the TVSS connected directly to the service buses, and the manufacturer specifies a 30 amp circuit breaker for installation. Failure to comply can void the warranty and violate NEC Section 110.3b. Spaces are available in the main distribution panel, or NDP, for additional breakers. The first step is to evaluate the power distribution system. This involves determining the total connected load on each branch circuit protected by the 200 amp breakers. It is critical to confirm that the TVSS can handle the surge current and voltage of the system. Secondly, install an additional breaker. Install a new 30 amp circuit breaker in the NDP and connect the TVSS to this breaker. Thirdly, you need to rebalance the load. There are 2 options. Firstly, move some of the load from the existing 200 amp breakers to the newly installed 30 amp breaker, or secondly, install a new subpanel with 30 amp breakers and move the TVSS to the subpanel. Finally, document and inform. Update the one-line diagram to reflect the new configuration and inform all relevant parties such as the building owner and maintenance staff about the modification. This solution complies with the TVSS manufacturer's instructions and the National Electrical Code, specifically Section 110.3b. It ensures the proper functioning of the TVSS and maintains the warranty. This approach also allows for future expansion or reconfiguration of the service without compromising the protection of the TVSS. There are a few additional considerations. Firstly, verify the voltage and amperage ratings of the TVSS match the electrical system. Secondly, ensure the TVSS is properly grounded according to the manufacturer's instructions. Thirdly, regularly inspect the TVSS to ensure it is functioning properly. Let's break down each of these steps in more detail. Evaluating power distribution is crucial. This involves not only calculating the existing load on each 200 amp breaker but also understanding the potential surge capacity of the TVSS. You need to consider the type of equipment connected to those breakers. Are they sensitive electronic devices that are particularly susceptible to voltage spikes? Understanding the load characteristics will help determine if simply moving some load to the 30 amp breaker is sufficient, or if a dedicated subpanel is necessary. When installing the new 30 amp breaker, ensure it is properly sized for the TVSS. Refer to the TVSS manufacturer's specifications for the correct breaker type and interrupting rating. The breaker must be compatible with the NDP and installed according to all applicable electrical codes. When rebalancing the load, careful planning is essential. If you choose to move some of the load from the 200 amp breakers to the 30 amp breaker, make sure the circuits you are moving are suitable for the new breaker and that you are not overloading the 30 amp breaker. A load calculation should be performed to ensure the 30 amp breaker is not exceeded. If installing a new subpanel is the preferred approach, select a subpanel with adequate capacity and the correct number of breaker slots for the TVSS and any future expansion. The subpanel must be properly grounded and bonded according to code. Documentation is a vital part of any electrical installation. The updated one-line diagram should accurately reflect the changes made, including the new 30 amp breaker, the TVSS connection, and any load rebalancing that was performed. The documentation should also include the TVSS manufacturer's instructions and any relevant electrical code references. Informing relevant parties ensures everyone is aware of the changes and the importance of maintaining the TVSS. This includes explaining the purpose of the TVSS, its proper functioning, and the need for regular inspection. Now let's delve deeper into the NEC code compliance. NEC Section 110.3b specifically requires that listed or labeled equipment be installed and used in accordance with any instructions included in the listing or labeling. The TVSS is a listed device and its instructions clearly state the need for a dedicated 30 amp breaker. Failure to follow these instructions is a direct violation of this code section. Furthermore, proper grounding is paramount for the effective operation of a TVSS. A poorly grounded TVSS is essentially useless, as it cannot effectively divert surge currents to ground. Ensure the grounding conductor is properly sized and connected to a suitable grounding electrode system. Regular inspections of the TVSS are crucial to ensure it is functioning correctly. Many TVSS devices have indicator lights or other means of signaling a fault condition. Train maintenance personnel to recognize these indicators and to take appropriate action if a fault is detected. Consider implementing a periodic testing program to verify the TVSS is still providing adequate surge protection. This may involve using specialized testing equipment to simulate surge conditions and measure the TVSS's response. The location of the TVSS within the electrical system is also important. Ideally, the TVSS should be installed as close as possible to the service entrance to provide maximum protection against incoming surges. However, it should also be protected from physical damage and environmental factors. If the TVSS is located in a harsh environment, consider using an EMA-rated enclosure to protect it from moisture, dust, and other contaminants. When selecting a TVSS, consider the surge current rating. This rating indicates the maximum surge current a TVSS can withstand without failure. Choose a TVSS with a surge current rating that is appropriate for the expected surge conditions in the location where it will be installed. Also consider the voltage protection rating, or volts protection rating, of the TVSS. This rating indicates the maximum voltage that the TVSS will allow to pass through to the protected equipment. A low volts protection rating generally indicates better protection. Selecting the right TVSS for the application is crucial. Consider the type of equipment being protected, the expected surge environment, and the overall electrical system configuration. Consulting with a qualified electrical engineer can help ensure the proper selection and installation of the TVSS. Before starting any electrical work, always de-energize the circuit and verify it is dead using a reliable voltage tester. Follow all applicable safety procedures and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, including safety glasses and gloves. Working with electricity can be dangerous, so always take precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock. In summary, installing a TVSS on a dedicated 30-amp breaker is essential for maintaining the warranty and complying with electrical codes. Proper planning, careful installation, and regular maintenance are all crucial for ensuring that TVSS provides effective surge protection. Remember to consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns about the installation. Furthermore, it's important to understand the different types of TVSS devices available. Some TVSS devices are designed for whole house protection, while others are designed for protecting individual appliances or electronic devices. Choose the appropriate type of TVSS based on the specific needs of the application. Whole house TVSS devices are typically installed at the service entrance and provide protection for all the electrical circuits in the building. Individual TVSS devices, also known as surge protectors, are typically plugged into electrical outlets and provide protection for the equipment plugged into them. When choosing a TVSS, consider the clamping voltage. The clamping voltage is the voltage level at which the TVSS begins to divert surge current to ground. A lower clamping voltage generally indicates better protection. However, it's important to choose a TVSS with a clamping voltage that is compatible with the equipment being protected. Some equipment may be damaged if exposed to voltages that are too low. Also, be aware of the let-through voltage. Let-through voltage is the voltage that actually passes through the TVSS to the protected equipment during a surge event. A low let-through voltage indicates better protection. Look for TVSS devices that have a low let-through voltage. It's also crucial to understand the difference between series and parallel TVSS devices. Series TVSS devices are connected in series with the load, meaning that all current flowing to the load must pass through the TVSS. Parallel TVSS devices are connected in parallel with the load, meaning that only the surge current is diverted through the TVSS. Series TVSS devices typically offer better protection, but they can also be more expensive and more complex to install. Consider the specific needs of the application when choosing between series and parallel TVSS devices. The National Electrical Manufacturers Association, or NEMA, provides standards for TVSS devices. Look for TVSS devices that meet NEMA standards to ensure they are safe and effective. NEMA standards cover a variety of performance characteristics, including surge current capacity, clamping voltage, and let-through voltage. In addition to the manufacturer's instructions and the NEC, there may be local electrical codes or regulations that apply to TVSS installations. Be sure to check with the local authorities to ensure that the installation complies with all applicable codes and regulations. It's also important to consider the lifespan of the TVSS. TVSS devices have a limited lifespan, and they will eventually need to be replaced. The lifespan of a TVSS depends on a variety of factors, including the frequency and severity of surge events. Check the manufacturer's specifications for the expected lifespan of the TVSS and replace it when it reaches the end of its lifespan. Remember that a TVSS is just one component of a comprehensive surge protection strategy. Other components may include surge protective receptacles, surge protective power strips, and lightning rods. A comprehensive surge protection strategy should address all potential sources of surges, both internal and external. Internal surges can be caused by switching electrical equipment, such as motors and appliances. External surges can be caused by lightning strikes, power grid switching, and other external events. Finally, it's important to remember that surge protection is an ongoing process, not a one-time event. Regularly inspect the TVSS and other surge protection devices to ensure they are functioning properly. Replace them as needed to maintain adequate surge protection. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that your electrical system is adequately protected from surges and that your TVSS is installed correctly and functioning properly. This will help to protect your valuable electronic equipment and prevent costly damage, and ensure that you follow NEC Article 280.1 through 280.6, specifically with general requirements, uses not permitted, number required, ampacity, connection to terminals and grounding. And when it comes to conductor considerations, review NEC Article 280.4. And again, for location in the system, consider the lowest voltage protection level at the service entrance to prevent the surge from entering the building. Installing downstream TVSS protection at branch panels is a good practice for more sensitive loads that will further reduce the voltages and transients before they are able to reach the load. And remember NEC Section 90.4 enforcement, which states that the authority having jurisdiction for enforcement of the code will have the responsibility for making interpretations of the rules, for deciding upon the approval of equipment and materials, and for granting the special permission contemplated in a number of the rules. The authority having jurisdiction may waive specific requirements in this code or permit alternative methods where it is assured that equivalent objectives can be achieved by establishing and maintaining effective safety. Electrical plans are a must-have. Plan well before installing or modifying any electrical system. And electrical diagrams are also highly encouraged. In the NEC there are informational notes that serve as a gentle reminder of what to consider when installing such devices. Remember, the effectiveness of surge protection depends on the proper installation and maintenance of the TVSS.